Welcome everybody to Yogi's Trail's first tabletop review. I decided to go tabletop on this one because we're going to be dealing with just a little bit more kind of tiny stuff here, and I've never done a table top kind of technically, so wanted to give it a whirl. Anyways, this is going to be the first video in a series of videos to kind of wrap up the Intro to Backpacking series. I would like to kind of address just little items that you take with you now, and then get into, some essentials that you're going to take, like, of course, your food and your water filtration, things like that. But I know when I started backpacking, I had a lot of thoughts about, what happens if I get hurt out there? Like, am I going to like fall and break my leg and then slice my hand on a rock and then hit my head on a tree and have like 3 horrible wounds? I mean, yeah, it's in the realm of possibilities, but that's kind of what would go through my head. And then when I thought of like my gear breaking, I pictured myself like sewing like a backpack strap on, in like the backcountry, and like fixing my Thermarest, air mattress, like, quite often. That's the kind of stuff that would go through my head when I first started thinking about going backpacking. So this is going to be a video that is, it's definitely something that I want to use and kind of show you as a template for you to kind of go off of and say, okay, this is the kind of stuff that, this dude brings. By all means, you don't have to bring what I bring. I bring some stuff is totally subjective for me, just because I might have like an ailment or whatever that I need to bring certain items for. But other than that, this is going to be my first aid kit, and this is going to be my emergency repair kit. And we're going to get into Mr. First Aid first, and we're going to weigh this guy, and this is going to be a total of 2.7 ounces. Now, before I even open this, I should do a little disclaimer. Not a medical, I'm not a doctor. I have some first aid training. I have some, knowledge behind some of this stuff and a little bit of experience. But I don't I'm not some professional mountain rescue person. I'm not a doctor. I'm not working in a medical office. So take it with a grain of salt, and, don't go out there and do something that I say and hurt yourself, because that would be horrible. So first aid kit here. This is a light AF first aid kit. It's a Cuban fiber kit, and I love it. It's super light. It's actually like a perfect size for a good first aid kit. You could also put your emergency repair in it as well, if you kind of maybe thinned them down a little bit. But coming in here, the first thing I'm going to show you here is a pair of nitrile gloves. Now, these aren't like, looking too special, but if I have to help somebody out there and I don't want to get their blood on me, then I will absolutely need something like that. Now I can always improvise and use the gloves that I bring for staying warm as well. So I want you to remember that this first aid stuff, a lot of stuff can be used in an emergency situation that you already have. You can make a splint from a trekking pole. You can make a sling from a jacket that you cannibalize. So kind of keep that in mind too. You can kind of double duty some of these things, but I love those. I always take them. I've had multiple uses for them, done multiple things with them. They do come in handy out there. KT tape, always take this with me. You can use it for blisters, but I like to use it to wrap my knee. So if I don't wrap my right knee a certain way, I get into some horrible pains with my right IT band. KT tape keeps that away. It's also really good for treating just all sorts of like muscular kind of problems. You can just kind of, if you know how to tape the problem, you can tape it up and get yourself some relief out there. I'm going to show you the medicine that I carry with me. Now, I don't carry like tons and tons of medicine, but it may look like I do. This pack here is going to be kind of just stuff that I don't immediately need, stuff that I carry kind of like just to have it, because drugs, can actually do a lot for you. That's kind of Western medicine right there, is drugs. So take Benadryl in case someone has an allergic reaction around me, or maybe I'm having one. I can give them some Benadryl. I have aspirin in case someone's having some sort of heart attack symptoms around me, or I'm having heart attack symptoms. Tylenol in case I get sick and I need to fight off a fever. I keep, oh, this is horrible to have because it's off the shelves. I'm going to throw this away right now. That's retinidine. It's a basically an antacid that was proven to cause cancer, so they ripped it off the shelf. Now I carry actually Tagamet, and that was just in there. I forgot to take it out. But I have Tagamet in here. I have Imodium right here for diarrhea, and I have Alka-Seltzer because I have kind of like gut issues sometimes. So hence the Tagamet and the Alka-Seltzer. I really think that stuff is key, and especially when you're out there and you're eating such a varied diet, and you know you don't eat freeze-dried macaroni and beef cheese at home, or maybe you do. I don't know. I have in the past for sure, but I mean that's not your like everyday meal like freeze-dried food. So you're gonna have some stomach issues, and it's really nice to have something out there to kind of calm that down because it can really be a bother. I've had to actually end a trip before in the middle of the night and hike back to my car because I was having a stomach acid issue, and I didn't have retinidine with me at the time. Going a little deeper in here, we're going to have some wound kind of closure-y stuff here. I have a little pair of butterfly closures, Band-Aids, backpacking, they never work. These actually are the best Band-Aids that I've found so far when I backpack. They're NextCare waterproof Band-Aids, so I really like those. I really don't use them a lot, to tell you the truth. I only keep a couple, but they do have their uses. Steri strip closures, another little wound closure. And I keep a couple of these Dr. Scholl's Second Skin kind of like blister pads because they're really nice if you're getting a mean blister. You just put that on overnight, and it really helps that blister heal it up after you kind of pop it and give it a little cleaning and whatnot. I really like to have burn cream with me, so it's a little lidocaine, just kind of numbs the area, but that's nice because you're always handling like a hot pot, messing with a fire, whatever. You have a lot of like opportunities to burn yourself, and good God knows that I've taken them and burnt myself many a times. Ibuprofen I just kind of keep out of that bag so I have it on hand. I keep a little Bactine here just to kind of clean a wound if it has to and prevent infection. Keep these are like diaper pins, and they're kind of lockable. So I keep those in case I have to make like a sling or something or whatever. I've used them for this or that to hang stuff off of packs, or whatever. And then the last thing in here is just a little bit of leukotape. So that's super popular in the backpacking community, using for blisters and really great. Keeps on your skin like something fierce. Like you cannot get that stuff off when you put it on. It's really nice. But that's my first aid kit. As you can see, there's no like rolls of ace bandage in there. There's nothing like too big and crazy. As you can see, I keep a good amount of like drugs on hand because those can give a nice like immediate relief to some issues. And if you don't have them, then you really can't get relief to those certain issues, which it makes it kind of rough, and you're in Suckville for a little bit. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, I mean, you're gonna treat mostly like a scrape, a little twisted ankle here or there. Like you will be in pain every day. There's always like a day where you're like something new hurts this day, and it just changes every day when you're out there for a long time. So that's just kind of to be expected. But beyond that, I mean, you're not gonna be treating much of blisters, foot stuff. It's really important to kind of take care of your feet out there. So kind of keep that in mind. The more you kind of take care of certain things, stretch, this, that, and the other, do preemptive care for yourself out there, the better you're going to feel, the less pain you're going to be in, pretty much. But this is just some stuff that I like to take. Like I said, it's not a must. It's not like I'm telling you to take all of it. It's more like a template, just kind of, for you to see like kind of what somebody takes that's maybe been out there a little bit. Now this is my emergency first repair kit. Repairs. I keep this little Z-Packs bag here, Cuban bag, and on top I have some Z-Packs sewing spool, and I've never had to use it myself, but I have had to let some other people use it, so I like keeping it on hand. I keep little tinders. These are Vaseline cotton balls. I keep 2 of them. I keep a little tiny ferro rod in there, and that actually interacts with something I'm going to kind of bring in from another video in the future here. This little knife, it's a tiny little cold steel knife, and I keep this on my shoulder of my backpack, and just kind of, I use it for everything. I open up packages with it mostly. I pick splinters out of my hands. I do all sorts of stuff. I mean, whatever. It has a million different uses, and it also doubles as my kind of like emergency fire starting kit. Not that, you know, you really need an emergency fire starting kit. I just kind of think it's cool to have one. And then I have some tenacious tape here. And inside there I got a little tiny roll of duct tape, you know, like a little tiny like fifth of a roll or something. One of those little tiny SOL rolls. I got a couple Neo-Air patches in there. And I keep this is like 3 little items here. 1 and 2 and 3. I have B, A, and this little guy, a little bit of Aquamira. And I just take the Gossamer Gear bottles and I put Aquamira in them. And I use that to mix it, and that's my backup like water purification method, because I don't know about you, but the last thing that I want is to be out there and have my filter freeze or lose it. A marmot takes my bag or something and takes the filter. I mean, there's all sorts of different possibilities, but I'd just like to have the backup water purification. Like some of this stuff, like I might take out like the sewing kit or the Faro when I go on trips. Like these bags are kind of, these little kits here, kind of stuffed to like the maximum as to what I would bring. But sometimes, you know, I'll take little things here out, and sometimes I might add something here or there too. But beyond that, I have this little signal mirror. It's pretty cool. You just aim it at what you want to flash here and give it a little wiggle, and I just think that's cool, kind of cool to bring that. So I keep that, and then don't want to lose that guy. Come on out there, little guy. That's a Sawyer bushing right there for a Sawyer filter. And then I keep this little night core. This thing's actually rechargeable. It recharges via like mini USB. But it's just a little like 100 lumen light source. I take this primarily if as a backup light source, of course. Like, you know, if you lose your headlamp, it run out of batteries, it breaks, it malfunctions, whatever. It just really sucks trying to do stuff in the outdoors in the nighttime without any light. Like, if you can't see anything, you're just, you know, it'll take some time for your eyes to adapt, of course, yeah, and you will be able to see some. But if it's a dark, dark night out there, like, good luck. But anyways, that's my emergency repair kit. It has just some stuff like, you know, if I want to light a fire in an emergency. Of course, extra light if I need to be found, if I'm lost. You know, this, that, the other. This is just kind of like a little tiny thing. Oh, and I'm sorry, I didn't weigh this before we started. This little guy is 3 ounces for this. I'm sorry, it's 4 ounces with this knife. But this knife is another video. But this is 3 ounces right here. Okay, so that's the first aid. That's the repair kit. The next video, we will go into more kind of doodads and just kind of stuff that you take with you while you're hiking. So stay tuned for that, and thanks for watching.